Hey, welcome,
Hi.
ladies and gentlemen, to the Vicki Chats podcast. I have a very special guest in the studio with me today, ladies and gentlemen. Thrilled to announce a man who's not only an amazing educator, but also a dedicated leader making history and education right here in Iowa. My son, Dr. Jared Smith. Jared is wrapping up his fourth year as superintendent of the Waterloo Community School District, one of the largest districts in the state with over 10,000 students and 1,700 employees. But Jared's journey in education didn't begin in administration. He actually began his career teaching math to middle and high school students in
Mhm.
Chicago, Illinois, Fort Dodge, Iowa, and Northport, Florida. From there, he moved on to become assistant principal at Waterloo East High School and head principal at Muscatine High School. Before coming back to Waterloo, he was the superintendent of the South Tama School District. With his wealth of experience, Jared knows what it takes to make schools thrive. This year, last year, 2025, Jared achieved something truly historic for the Waterloo community. He led the successful proposal for a brand new Waterloo High School, uniting East and West high schools under one roof for the first time in history. Thanks to the incredible support of the community, the bond passed with 60% approval, and groundbreaking was 2025. And I was there, and it was a beautiful experience. So this state-of-the-art school will be a game changer when it opens in 2028. Jared is also an award-winning blogger, professional speaker, adjunct professor, and the author of 3 books, including his latest, The Ed Leadership Playbook. And yes, I had the honor of editing it. When he's not at work, Jared's into reading, executive coaching, sports, working out, and of course, attending concerts. Get ready to hear from someone who's not only shaping the future of education, but also living his passion each and every day. Please welcome my eldest son, Dr. Jared Smith.
Hi, how's it going today?
Good.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
so anyway,
Okay.
we are enjoying today, and it's such
Yeah.
an honor to be with you. And tell me, Jared, this new high school represents more than a building. It feels like a real flip the script moment for Waterloo.
Yeah.
So, what does bringing East and West high schools together mean to you, both personally and professionally?
Yeah. So it means a lot professionally and personally.
Hmm.
Like I was a student at West High. And so I know that building as well as anyone. And then working
Yes,
as an assistant principal, like you mentioned at East High,
yes,
also was just an experience for me. So I've had a chance to see both East and West up close and personal for years. And
right.
so just knowing that we get a chance to bring these two buildings together
Yeah,
and make the most out of both buildings is really
right.
exciting. Those are two buildings that have had a lot of tradition and history, but they're
Exactly.
aging buildings. And so we know
Right.
we've got to like do something long-term solution with those. But
Yes.
we feel like our best option was to bring those two together and to one
Oh,
united high school. And just personally and professionally, it's a full circle moment for me. I know it's
yes.
going to be amazing for the community. I know it's change is not easy, but once
Right.
people get in this building, once students get there, once we start to have some academics, some athletic, some fine arts success, which I know we
Mhm.
will, like people are just going to really embrace it and
Yes.
just love being in the new building.
Oh, that's so exciting. So, when this idea first came up, did you see it as a facility project, or did you realize early on that it could help shape the story people tell about Waterloo schools?
Yeah, so when I first heard about the project, I vividly remember coming in like maybe a month in and people saying, "Hey, here's an idea we have. What are your thoughts?" And I don't know. Sometimes you just don't know any
Yeah,
better, and you just
right.
say, "Let's investigate this. Let's check
Yes.
it out. Let's get some feedback." And almost unanimously, the feedback was positive. Let's go for it. Now, change is not easy, and so,
No.
but I do feel like it. I view it much more as something that reshapes the story of Waterloo. Yes, it's a facilities project. Yes, there's a lot of details that are still being ironed out to this day,
Yes.
clearly, but it's really bigger picture. It's reshaping the story of the Waterloo schools, and it's really setting us up to be. We call ourselves the premier urban school district in the state of Iowa, and I truly feel like
Yes.
we're cementing that status with this project.
Exactly. And Waterloo Community School District was ranked a top employer by Forbes with over 86% staff satisfaction. What does that recognition say about the culture you and your team have built?
Yeah, so we really feel like culture's the the backbone of any organization,
Yes.
not just schools, but really any business.
Yes.
And so we push hard. We work really hard to make sure culture is where it needs to be. You mentioned 86% employee
Yes.
satisfaction.
Right.
That's well above the national average for public schools, which is more like 65%. So we are way, way ahead of the national norm when it comes to culture. And I feel like the announcement, the award from Forbes just really cemented that status of being, like you said, the top school district employer in the state of Iowa. There's
Right.
300 plus school districts. So for us to win that award was truly was culmination of a lot of work for the last few years. And we're super excited, and we feel like, yeah, this is us. This is the people can say all they want, good or bad, about school districts or about the Waterloo schools, but we got some great things going on.
Yes. So there's a national narrative about urban school districts, but Waterloo is clearly flipping the script. So what do you think people often get wrong, and what should they understand?
Yeah. So and again, public schools in general are always like under the microscope. People are always comparing. People are always wanting better. They were students themselves, and they feel like, hey, I know what should be done, and things should be done differently. And especially in urban schools, when I say urban, it's you've got a very diverse student body. You've got in terms of socioeconomics, you've got a good mix as well. And so the thing that people have wrong is sometimes I feel like there's truly not an apples to apples comparison of like assessment scores, graduation rates, all the metrics. And so what we really try to do when I say apples to apples is how do we truly compare to districts like us in other urban districts? And so I think it's important that we do that as a district, and that the community understands that our data may not be the same as a much smaller district with more affluent families. So we feel like it's important for the community and for our staff and for families to like understand that narrative. And when you look at our data, it's second to none in the state. We exceed all baseline measures in terms of academics, attendance, culture, climate, and so forth. So I feel like we're continuing to tell that story, and I'm getting a chance to tell it here right now. But I do feel like people need to dig a little bit deeper instead of making just quick knee-jerk reactions in terms of like data, and really understand, okay, here are the barriers that some districts are facing, and how are they overcoming them. And again, our data is like second to none.
Exactly. And you've emphasized that strong culture drives student success. What does that look like in action across your schools?
Yeah, so we have 19 campuses of, when you say campuses, different schools, right? And so each school is expected to have a culture climate of at least 90%, meaning that 90% of their employees feel valued, appreciated. And so what does that look like is we feel like it's a continuous cycle. If our staff are happy, right? If our staff are motivated, if they're excited to be there at work every day, then ultimately that carries over to the kids, right? So the kids will be, that'll carry over. The kids can sense if you're in a good mood, not in a good mood, if you like being there, not being there. So you get happy staff make happy students. And then if students are happy, who else are happy? Our parents, right? So, and then if parents are happy, then the community's happy, and the community's happy, then my bosses are happy, right? So it is a virtuous cycle of, if we can, and we start with the staff, right? And as long as the staff, enjoy coming to work, they feel like a bigger part of the picture, they feel like they can see their work makes a difference, then we feel like that virtuous cycle goes into effect. So it's just, and our scores show that, our attendance shows that, all the things that we measure is headed in the right direction, and we feel like it starts with culture.
Oh, yes. And with such a diverse staff and student population, how do you ensure every voice is heard and valued in decision making?
Yeah, we try really hard. I mean, what you mentioned earlier, 1,700 employees, 10,000 students. Like, I can really speak to the employee side, which is we really try to get as much voice as possible in decisions. And what does that mean is there's a few different ways. We do a lot of like all staff feedback, all staff surveys. I go around to each of our buildings, and I encourage staff to come in and give me feedback. I go around to each building and encourage students to give me feedback. We have like set times for students and staff to do this. But it can't just stop with it getting to me. It's got to trickle down to the people who can make decisions. And so the feedback I get trickles down to our directors, trickles down to our buildings. And so again, it almost feels like that virtuous cycle of, if you need to ask for feedback, when you get it,
Right.
take it and do something with it.
Yes.
Now, not every single time can we act on every single idea, but we do act on a lot of ideas.
Exactly.
And so I feel like by doing that, you ensure that a diverse group of employees, of students, feels like their voice is being heard. There's no such thing as a bad idea. We'll take all the ideas. So, I mean, the end goal is to make our district better. It's not to have ego and to like, oh, I've got to have all the best or right decision or right ideas. It's got to,
Right.
you got to be ego-less, and you got to make sure people
Yes.
honor people's voices. And if there's a good idea, take it and make it work.
I love that. So across your books, Learning Curve, Lessons Learned on Leadership, Education, and Personal Growth, Turning Points, More Lessons Learned on Leadership, Education, and Personal Growth, and the Ed Leadership Playbook, 30 Lessons for Success. You talk a lot about reflection and growth. Why is reflection such a critical skill for leaders today?
Yeah, so you've got to be somebody who's a lifelong learner, and reflection's a part of that. Like, again, I feel like I may make mistakes every day, and just like a lot of people do. And if you can't like own up to that and say, hey, I messed up, I'm going to get better, like, you will cease to get better in your professionally or personally, right? So we always say, like, the only people that are going to move up in our organization are those people who are coachable. So if you're not coachable, like, again, like, nobody's got this figured out. Nobody. As quickly as society changes, as quickly as education changes. So our leaders must be able to reflect, to learn from their mistakes, to have a lifelong learner mentality. And I do that myself, right? I know I make mistakes, and
we all do.
And so if you don't take time to say, okay, I'm going to do that better, asking for feedback. I ask for feedback as much as possible, and sometimes it stings, but that's how you get better. So I think it's a critical skill. And again, for those people listening that want to move up, I feel like at least in a healthy organization, you've got to be a lifelong learner. You've got to like take feedback and be coachable.
Right, exactly. So down the road, when a future Titan reads one of your books someday, what's the one lesson you hope stays with them?
Yeah, gosh, there's a lot of ideas, but it's this idea that, like, people, like, again, what's one lesson that stays with them, or like leaving a legacy? It's like how you make people feel. It's not, people are not going to remember, and I need to remind myself this every day. Like, every interaction with people has to be positive, encouraging. You can't, in my role and as other leaders, like, we can't just have some bad days. People will remember that one bad interaction. And so my hope that future Titans realize that every day is, no matter what might be going on in your life, is bring a positive attitude, bring an optimistic attitude, be a problem solver, remove barriers for other people. So that would be my hope, is that that's what people remember, and don't worry about the programs that it's more about the way you treat people. That's going to leave a lasting legacy. So that's what I would hope that our future Titans really remember.
And that's like the Maya Angelou quote. People will forget what you say to them, but they'll never forget how you made them feel.
Yes, very true. Very true.
I love that. So let's talk a little bit about Titan gear, because it looks good. What has the reaction been from students, staff, and the broader community on the merch, and where can they get it?
Yeah, so it looks really good. I mean, it's just, there's so many cool. I was in some interviews last night, and one of our candidates actually had Titans gear underneath their suit jacket, which was pretty cool.
I love it.
So the reaction's been very positive. I mean, again, anytime you bring in new branding and new like clothing, people are going to be mixed. But I could not believe how positive the feedback has been from students, staff, and the broader community. Where can they get it? Is simply just go to the Waterloo School's website, and then there is a link to Waterloo United High School, like the all the stuff that we've got for the high school, and there's a super easy, quick link that's on there for our stores. And so it's beyond simple. It's just like you're going to Amazon, or you're going to some other website to buy some clothing. It's great prices, good, pretty quick shipping depending on what you get.
Mhm.
And hey, if there's any extra proceeds, it does go back to Waterloo schools. So it's a win-win for everybody.
I love that. So do you have a favorite piece of merch yet?
Oh gosh, I got some good stuff. I would say I really like just the crew neck sweater. Not a sweatshirt. I wear that to the gym a lot. And you know, kind of wear it over my like workout clothes. And I get so many comments on it. Hey, where can I get that at?
Oh, yay.
And all those things. So yeah, it's that would price, but I just ordered some like fleece hoodies that are like lighter yeah, there's some really cool stuff. So it's hard to pick one.
And thank you for being so generous and giving all of your family members merch at Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that was no brainer. It was fresh. We launched our new merch in October, and it made so much sense for us for me to give family members some sweatshirt. I think is what I gave all you guys.
Yes,
so, yeah.
And they're so soft. Some sweatshirts are scratchy. These are like velvet. And they feel so good wearing them. I've got the one you gave me and the one I bought. So I've got the cream colored one and the dark colored one.
Good, cool.
And I want to get a hoodie next.
Good, do it.
So do you see this merch as part of something bigger? A way to unite a diverse community around a shared identity and a shared future?
Yeah, I mean, that's a deep question. And when I think about it, I guess it probably is something bigger, you know, but I feel like what people wear is very much, it's very much noticed today through social media, through pictures, through Instagram, through all those things, right? So we want something that people enjoy wearing, like that they're proud of, right? And so when people wear your gear, it's more than just a sweatshirt, right? It is like, hey, I feel proud. I want to be a part of this. I think this is cool. And so we want we want our students especially like, hey, this is cool. I want to get this stuff. So, it's definitely something bigger. It's a way to unite and I've seen people, all ages, all races, all backgrounds wearing the Titans gear. It just makes you feel really, just really good about the direction of the district.
Oh, I love it. And Waterloo School serves a community with 45 different languages and a beautifully diverse population. So how do you see that diversity showing up in the way people embrace Titan pride?
Yeah, we've got a very, very diverse student body and families. And so I guess, again, kind of similar to the last question, is I do feel like I am seeing many of those backgrounds wearing the gear. And again, that just means that they're like, this is cool. I want to be a part of this. I want to be a part of this in the future. I'm a future Titan, whether it's, like I said, students, staff, families. And so I do feel like clothing and telling the story of how we got there, of this, of bringing together like a community that has been divided in the past is something that people can identify with. And so I think just the choosing of the Titans, the choosing of the Waterloo United, all that goes into people feeling like, yes, I understand, I gravitate towards this. So the merch, the clothing is just a way for people to say that, yep, you've got my approval. Like we want this. So again, really, really cool. A lot of merch out there, and we wanted to keep getting out there. So again, check out the website. Or shoot, you can just email me if you want to get. Well, we'll get you set up. We'll get you on the right track. So
I love it. And black and Vegas gold definitely make a statement. What do those colors represent in terms of pride, inclusion, and a new era for the district? Yeah,
so the black is, East and West are combining. East is black and orange. West is black and old rose, right? So we took the black is, people just love black these days, right? They love the color black, to wear it, to have it in there, and I feel like that takes the best of both East and West. The Vegas gold is something brand new, right? It's rarely used. It's a very uncommon but cool looking version of gold. And so you've got the old tradition of East and West, but then we've got like this new era, right? Which is the Vegas gold. So I think it is symbolic to where we've been and where we're going. And by blending those two colors, again, it's been nothing but positive feedback. Just it looks cool. It's a little bit different. People think of like Purdue, Vanderbilt, Colorado. Like those are three colleges. Like those are cool colors in people's
Right.
opinions, right?
Right.
So we're just embracing the modern times, and we're just super thrilled about the color selection.
I love it. So, what do you hope every student, no matter their background or journey, feels the first time they walk into that brand new building in 2028?
Yeah, so I do feel like people are going to have the wow factor when they come in, and so I want them
Yes.
to feel like, hey, this is cool. Like
Yeah.
telling their friends, telling their family, like I get to go here, like I
Yes.
get to like
Yes.
this here in our community. Like it's a pride factor, right? And it's more than just a building. It's we
Mhm.
have all the systems in place, but I do feel
Right.
like just it will truly have the wow factor whether you walk in the auditorium, the gym, the commons area,
Mhm.
the Hall of Pride area.
Yes.
It's just people are gonna really just be impressed. So I cannot wait for 2028 to get here.
I love it. What's been the most challenging part of turning this vision into reality, and what has kept you motivated through those moments?
Yeah, the most challenging part is, not when it comes to buildings, when it comes
Mhm.
to any way you're using money, like people have
Yes.
opinions,
Of
right? And there's a lot
course.
of people who still say, oh, that's not the best use of money. Believe me when I say that we look through every like option.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if we truly want to have schools that are meant for learning in the
Right.
2026, like we've got to do something different. Like again, we love East High, we love West High, but again, walk through those buildings and
Right.
don't tell me that we there aren't rooms for improvement, right? And so
Exactly.
students deserve the best. This is going to do that.
Mhm.
I feel like just that's been a challenge to convince people
Mhm.
that this is the best project, but like honestly that's just the world we live in. People are going to
Right.
be, no matter what you do, like you can do something that makes sense to 99% of the people, you'll still have the 1% of outspoken
Yes.
who are mad about something. And again, you just got to like, okay, like you can be upset, I'm sorry, we did do the public vote, we proved it 60% to 40%,
Yes.
pretty much in landslide. So I would say just convincing people that this is the best use of money and just
Mhm.
understanding. And again, you got to have thick skin and you can't let like things get to you.
Right.
It's like you're not going to make everybody happy, and
No,
we'll do the best we
no.
can. And slowly but surely people will come around. They will come, and there might be a few people who never do, but
Right.
I have seen just examples of where people maybe were skeptical at first who have really come around to the idea.
I love it. And merging two proud school communities can be emotional. How are you honoring those histories while also creating a shared future that reflects the diversity of Waterloo?
Yeah, we are constantly bringing in alumni and asking them for
Nice.
feedback on all the things, right? And
Yay.
so, again, we've got a lot of alumni. Each year we graduate, I don't know, 1,000 students, which is maybe that's a little high. But you think about 100, 100 years of graduates times
Yes.
1,000. I mean,
Right.
that's
Yes.
100,000 alumni. Like
Yes.
not everybody's going to be happy, right? But
Right.
we are
Right.
trying to honor their voice as much as possible by bringing them in. Hey, one prime example is the Hall of Fame project, which
Ooh.
is the yeah, Hall of Fame. So I'm forgetting the exact name of
Yeah.
it. Pride, Hall of Pride.
Nice.
And so we've got alumni that are all giving us feedback on what that should look like, feel like.
Ooh.
It's going to truly feel like a really cool museum of West, East, and Central uh,
Ooh.
history on the athletic side. And so that is one prime example. We've got to make sure that we continue to honor the tradition.
Yes.
And we're just looking at strategic ways for making sure that we honor alumni, people
Mhm.
who've come before us that have gotten us to this place.
I love it. And so, looking ahead 10 years, Jared, how will you measure success, not just academically, but in terms of culture, belonging, and opportunity?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I do not see, as long as I'm here and our leadership is in place, that we will continue to use the same metrics.
Hmm.
And so our three overarching goals for the district are achievement, which
Yes.
is academic achievement. So you'll continue to say, hey, is this building leading to improved academic achievement?
Right.
Attendance. Our students, and it sounds so simple, but getting students to school is can
Yeah.
be a battle at times,
Yes.
and just like the workplace, right? Like I
Right.
know there's a lot of workplaces out there that people are like some employees just don't show up, right?
Right.
So, and then culture. So we measure culture, like I mentioned earlier.
Hmm.
So those are three overarching goals. But beyond that, I want to say each like department will have
Hmm.
their individual goals as well, whether it's
Nice.
athletics, whether it's fine arts, whether it's
Hmm.
So there'll be a lot of ways to measure success.
Yeah.
But I would say really it's going to come back to those three goals. Are students still
Yes.
being successful academically?
Yeah.
Are students showing up? Are they
Yes.
coming? Are they engaged? And then
Yes.
are our students and our staff, are they happy? Are they enjoying
Yes.
what they're a part of? So I would say those three goals, they're here today and they'll be here in 10 years.
I love it. So now I have to ask Jared, as your mom, we had a tradition at the dinner table every night, highlights and lowlights. Do you remember how you felt about that as a kid?
Oh gosh, probably a little mixed. I mean, I think at times it was okay. Yeah. I mean, it was something we were expected to do at dinner, and I get the reason. It got us talking, right? And I can't imagine in 2026, like, with cell phones, and I'm even distracted at times too. So I get the philosophy behind it. I think as a kid, I would always roll my eyes. Oh my gosh. But I was usually a good sport too.
Mhm.
I think some of my siblings were a little bit more difficult to get answers out of, but I think I understand it now as an adult. I think I didn't mind it. I think at times I was a little like, oh mom, do we have to do this? But overall I do think it got us talking and learning about each other's days.
Exactly. And you used it as a title of your second book of a chapter. So,
Yeah.
yes.
That's right. I forgot about, yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And then still your friends will say to me on social media, I loved highlights and lowlights
Right.
because they had to do it too.
Yep. Yep. And it's still kind of a thing to this day. So
Yes.
some 30 to 40 years later.
Yes,
So
right. So for those viewing us, uh, the highlights and lowlights, sharing the best and toughest parts of your day, looking back, how did that shape the way you approach your challenges today?
um it's a really good question. How you Well, I think it's funny because I do maybe not the low lights part, but there's two things to it. One is like I had our leadership team meeting yesterday, and we
Mhm.
said, funny, that we said, "Hey, are there any highlights in the room? Like, are there any? Does
Aw,
anybody have any?" And that's a very you that people use that term
yeah.
a lot, but hey, we got to make sure that we share the positive things that are
Mhm,
going on. In terms of lowlights, like it's okay to share something that didn't go so well,
mhm.
and it's okay to like
Yeah,
say, hey, not everything goes perfect.
right.
And so I do think there's probably some things that I learned as a kid that have transferred over to me, understanding both sides of that and to getting people to share can really just build a relationship and can also help people out to feel good about themselves and also understand that we're all going through similar experiences.
Exactly. So again, your friends still talk about those dinners decades later. Why do you think something so simple had such a lasting impact?
Because it's not normal, probably.
Mhm.
Like they're probably like, "Wow, we never do that." And so having structure going into like a setting like that, I could see it being applicable to
Mhm.
families these days as well, because I can only imagine
Mhm.
just getting kids engaged at the dinner table is very, very difficult. So I think it made an impact because it was just not normal,
Yeah.
and they remember that when something's out of
Yes.
the ordinary, that
Yes.
and when you're doing dinner at your friend's place, that's kind of a fun thing to
Mhm.
do.
Yep.
And so I think that's why it was a fun experience in general having dinner, and then what you did during that experience you'll remember. So I think that's why 30 years later
Yeah.
they still remember that, and they're like, oh, and so yeah.
So that idea of reflection on one's day and reflection on one's work shows up in your leadership and your writing. When did you realize that simple routine carried a much bigger lesson?
um Uh, I don't know. I guess I haven't really thought about it too much until right
Yeah.
now. And so as I kind of like process it aloud here, I'm like, oh, it kind of does have a bigger lesson.
Right.
I don't know if I'm trying to think of I don't know. I do know the importance of making sure not only I share the good things going on, but people share the good things about other people. We've been doing
Exactly.
that for a while, and
Nice.
quite
Nice.
honestly, some of our teammates think it's like they feel embarrassed by it. But I'm like, I
Oh,
know deep down
yes.
that it matters. Like you need to hear the
Right.
positives, and it can't always come from me. It needs to be from
Yes.
your peers a little bit too.
Right.
So I do. I don't know exactly if I've ever really thought that deep about it, but
Hmm.
I do feel like it has carried over to my leadership.
I love it. So, years from now, when people hear the word Titan, what do you hope it represents? Not just about the school, but about Waterloo's story of growth, resilience, and success.
Yeah. So when people hear the word Titans, again, like a lot of work went into choosing Titans.
Mhm.
And I do think it has a deeper meaning. Like, I haven't watched the movie Remember the Titans for a long time. I did watch it. But people who have seen that movie say there's a very similar feel to what Waterloo, bring in, like two different sides of town together into one. And this Titans idea, like, I just, I hope I hope people realize that this is a turning point for our district and bringing the two sides together. When I say the two sides of the river, which have historically been segregated, which we don't see that as much anymore, but I still know there's some like undertones of that. And so I feel like it does tie into the greater like narrative where there's this idea about the titans of industry, the titans of athletics, the titans of whatever it might be, is that we are going back to where we have been as a community before, because we've been there. We have been identified. Waterloo has been seen as the titans of these areas of business,
Yes,
of
there you go.
athletics, and we think we can get there. And I think people are going to remember that. I think people are going to say, "Oh, remember back in 2028 when we brought these two high schools together? What a great idea! Wow, that really panned out well. That we're thriving. We've got so much success, and thanks to that bold move." So I think some people, it's not going to dawn on them, but some people who really think deep will understand the importance of that decision.
Right. I love it. Any closing thoughts?
No, I just appreciate the time. It's fun to talk about both personal and professional. Exciting time going on in the Waterloo schools. We just know we've got a great product out there. We're excited for anybody who might be listening that would like to learn more about the schools. Like, this is truly a time when parents have a lot of choice over where their students attend. Like, we want success for all students. And so again, not Waterloo schools might, if you live in a different community, it makes much more sense to attend that community. But we also feel like we got a very good product, and we encourage you to come check us out. We got a lot of great things going on, and we will be happy to give you a tour of any of our buildings at any time. So just let us know.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jared. It's been an honor and a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good day.